Hello everyone, this is my review for What If Season 2, Episode 8, where the Avengers assembled in 1602. Scarlet Witch recruited Peggy in the ending of Episode 5 when, after she fought the Hydra Stopper, she has come to Carter. Throughout this episode, we see this from her perspective. She actually listens to the Watcher and actually interacts with him. He just starts to ask each other what if questions about what if the time period during won't survive because Carter mentions that the timelines are colliding with each other of another timeline. Apparently, I believe it's more than one timeline. I'll get to that in a bit. However, at first I was wondering why was Loki and Hela there because some of the Avengers fighting Thanos in Wakanda. So at first I was wondering it had to do with the characters interacting with the time stone or in some way. However, I am theorizing here that there's a possibility that the time stone just takes them from one timeline to this one for no reason at all, or if they ended up having their own adventures and they individually stumbled upon the time stone or the energy of the time stone in their own universe where they ended up being here. So there's a possibility that when the time anomaly thing is taking one of the characters out, it's as if there's two characters of the same character there. Basically, there's a possibility that in the future within that timeline, those particular Avengers could have doppelgangers. So maybe the green portal thing wants to get rid of the anomalies because throughout that timeline, that universe can only carry one of those doppelgangers, and since the Avengers that fell in that time period aren't supposed to be there, they just did them out completely out of the equation within the timeline. However, it doesn't hit them back home. It just basically kills them or something like that, or destroys them. I understand that the anomaly is taking soon Avengers out because the universe itself is fracturing out and it's making a mess with the Avengers being there. So much where Fury and Wanda want Peggy to help save the as much Avengers as possible, Avenger type of characters as possible, and only vets them and Hela and Loki. Tries to take Loki but doesn't. We saw Hela throwing Loki on one place. Even Hela was queen here and denied as God. So that's interesting to think about why they didn't ask God. However, we see them together or freedom in the beginning of the episode, and then Hela gets taken away and the scepter has the time stone instead of the mind stone. So that's how they approach that. And remember that Wanda has her powers because of the mind stone. So perhaps the scepter already took control of Wanda to the point where her powers are already there because of it, or perhaps the reality stone was involved. However, that's not the point of the episode. One more thing I realized when in the beginning with Thor, Loki, and Hela, when Thor said no again, as in he knows that the time anomaly didn't happen. I opened the portal, opening up again. It's as if he's been there, so that universe or time period is where he belongs. And it doesn't make sense because that's the Guardians live for like thousands of years. So that's particularly their same time. So it's a big possibility that Loki, Hela, and Thor never came across the time stone in the future or anything like that because they were already here in 1602, so they wouldn't have to. They're only dealing with the power of the time stone now. However, Hela does have the scepter with the time stone, so maybe one of the other Avengers had the time stone or the scepter, and he gave it to Hela for safekeeping, just in case, so that it could be a possibility of how that could play out. It's anyone's guess, really. What do you think about how Hela had a scepter in this beginning of the episode? But something that the watcher said something about the fact that him and Peck were talking about the two tempers colliding within themselves, and Peggy was identifying the forger, the person at a time, and the watcher said something about destroying the forger, which makes no sense. I don't know why he would want to see Peggy destroy that person, unless that person would be the cause of all this, however. That's not really wise. Expresses beyond what he mentioned within the word destroy. Peggy was wondering why the watcher can help her find the person she's trying to look for, and the watcher mentions that the universe is dying. It's hard for him to find out who the person is. How in the TVA it was hard for him to find who Sylvie is or where she was, because that was towards that apocalypse type of thing. Is there a similar case here where a universe or a timeline is dying, and it makes sense why they can't see beyond a certain point, and by they I mean the watcher or people like the TVA, for example. They wouldn't know anything beyond what they are able to know. Peggy wants to learn how to prevent all this from stopping, and then she goes to Tony, who does have an art reactor, who has a sense of idea of how to save everyone. And it's interesting to think about certain Avengers that got pulled out of their time into this one, and some of them don't know each other. Happy Hogan doesn't have a life with him working for Tony. He actually points out that that's ridiculous. Fury is also there, and Tony and Bruce are out there, and Bruce is locked himself in, or maybe he was captured, or probably turned himself in. Who knows? The mysteries here are endless and fascinating to think about. So Tony does have an art reactor, but he knows how to do things to help Peggy with solving her problem ever. The thing is that Peggy eventually learns that someone within the group is someone who can save everyone without that person is our time. And this photo, that photo where Wanda has her magic thing, you see a character in the middle there, and that's probably the person in the ending that we learn is Steve, the person at our time. And she can't tell, apparently, even though we see his silhouette there. And throughout this episode, we follow Peggy and Steve, and they don't really care about each other. They show a lot of passion for each other because they love each other. And Steve was recently mourning Peggy because this was reason for him losing her, and Peggy basically lost Steve from the Hydra Stomper, and the adventure that we saw her deal with recently in the season. And the stuff that is surprising about this is that we actually care a lot about what they say, because we understand them, and in the ending they understand that even though they can't be together in this universe, they understand and accept the fact that somewhere out there there's a possibility that they're together, and or they end up together, and we know that's the case because of Endgame. However, I wish they showed that lesson with Wanda and Multiverse of Madness, but her might Billy and Tommy in her life, just like the episode where Happy Hulk and saved Christmas. He also took the blood of the Hulk, and he is like the purple freak Hulk type of character here as well, and we basically see a round 2 with him and Hulk fighting in the ending there. That was something fun to see. We see a little bit of a bond with Rogers and Bucky and even Scarlet. Here I would love how they were together here to fight the Yellow Jacket type of army, and those three are basically the three musketeers here in this world, and they have their own contrast and trust and doing all these things that protect themselves from all this happening with the time anomaly. In this episode, Loki basically calls Steve Robin Hood because he's doing selfless acts for others, and we said that we actually see and understand that that's who Steve always has been. I can imagine Tom Hiddleston in the recording booth having fun portraying this version of Loki. That's really fun to think about, after seeing all the Loki has been through. Just fun to see him relax and chill, and Thor actually feels like the one suffering a lot because he just lost Hela, and he has no idea what's happening, and even the Black Panther was gone too. It's something that he mentioned, so he has a vibranium sword that uses against Peggy. Peggy found out who the forger is, who is Rogers. Bucky was surprised, and that was actually surprising too, because at first, like I mentioned, I thought they were, together in Infinity War, fighting Thanos, and then the Time Stone basically had them end up here. However, I believe the fact that the characters are pulled from their individual timelines, so it made sense that certain characters won't know what happened with the other one, And this one, Steve was fighting Thanos, and when he showed up in Wakanda, he sliced part of the time stone with his shield from Wakanda, and he ended up there. He doesn't remember Thanos' name, or either they were pulled back from time, or they're pulled back from time and in our timeline as well, in our universe. So that could be a possibility. It could be both, or one of them. I believe the fact that the time stone, I believe it's once it got pulled out of time. There's a lot of mysteries and a lot of things that will make the more fans theorize how did these characters end up here, with Scott and Fury and Wanda and all these things happening with these characters, and I'm interested in theorizing all this. And tomorrow we have the final episode of season 2, so maybe we might have some answers there. However, if not, the mysteries will be there, and we can continue on theorizing on how these characters end up here, and that's really enjoyable. The reason why the Watcher was concerned with Peggy is there's a possibility of her never coming back to her time period. The reason why she was the only one who was pulled into this timeline on purpose was by accident, because of thanks to Wanda. Wanda wanted Peggy to help and save the other Avengers from being taken away, so maybe there's a possibility other Avengers got taken away, probably Black Widow or Hawkeye. Those are characters that have ground level fighting skills. They will fit right in this time period, but thanks to Steve, the didn't work. He activated the time stone thing machine to send everyone where they belong. Thanks to Tony's mind on having it work out in Peggy's favor. Peggy ended up not having a way back home until Stephen Strange arrived and end, so perhaps he's just gonna take her out of that time period and take her where they need to go. I liked the episode. It was decent. That's gone as the reason to be so yesterday and the one before. However, this one was a lot enjoyable stuff to watch. I love Wanda's outfit here and also Thor's. They look really cool here. Like I said, there's a lot of mysteries on how these characters ended up here, so that's what the fun is. We can have our theories and guess and assume where these characters have been or what they've done, the type of missions they were part of that ended up with them interacting with a time stone in some way and form when they ended up there in 1602. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for the season 2 finale tomorrow. And take care. Bye.